Children, today we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter 9, Heredity and Evolution. Before starting with the chapter, I would like to know the definition of heredity. Yes, who is ready to give me the definition of heredity? Yes, here come on, anyone? Heredity is the phenomenon in which the characteristics are transferred from one generation to the next generation, right? So if I talk about inheritance, it is transferred through DNA, right? And on DNA we have genes which will decide the characteristics, the trait which will be transferred from the parent to the offspring. We have seen that reproductive processes give rise to new individuals that are similar but subtly different. We have discussed how some amount of variation is produced even during asexual reproduction, and the number of successful variations are maximized by the process of sexual reproduction. If you observe a field of sugarcane, we find very little variations among the individual plant. But if I talk about animals, including human beings, which reproduce sexually, there are quite distinct variations which are visible among different individuals, right? So here the mechanism by which variations are created and inherited, right, that is what we are going to study. The long term consequences, what will be the consequences? There are n number of variations which are being accumulated in our body, right? We do not know. If I talk about a bacterial colony, right, which I have explained to you in the previous chapter, 100 bacteria, if they are able to survive in a range of temperature that is 35 to 45 degrees Celsius, and suppose the temperature increases to 55 degrees Celsius, out of 100 bacteria, 80 bacteria will die, only 20 will survive. Why those 20 will survive? Because they were having accumulated variations. They were having variations in which they were able to, they were able to adjust well to the changed climate. Okay, now if I talk about the characters or traits, a recognizable feature of a human being or any other organism like height, complexion, shape of nose and chin, color of eye and hair, etc. are called characters or traits. The transmission of traits from the parents to their offspring is called heredity. The hereditary information is present in the gametes of the parents. Thus, gametes constitute the link between one generation and the next and pass on to the maternal and paternal characters or traits to the offspring. Okay children, now again let us read the definition of heredity. The transfer of characters or traits from the parents to their offspring is called heredity. What are variations? The differences between the characters or traits among the individuals of the same species are called variations. And we have discussed the importance of variations in the previous chapter, that variations are very important not for the individual but for the species, for the survival of the species. When organisms reproduce, the offspring show minor variations due to inaccuracies in DNA copying. These variations are less in asexual reproduction and more in sexual reproduction. Some variations are useful variations and they help the organism to adjust to the changes in the environment. Some variations do not help the organism to adjust to the changes in the environment and they may die and become extinct. Okay? So, in some cases here the variations might be useful, in some cases it will be not useful, right. If drastic variations takes place, the organism will not be able to survive and the organism will die. So, as we have discussed, the significance of a variation shows up only if it continues to be inherited by the offspring for several generations. The great advantage of variation to a species is that it increases the chances of its survival in a changing environment, as I gave you the example of bacteria, right. So, previously as I told you that they were able to survive in so and so temperature, but once temperature has increased, they all could not survive, only 1/4 of the population could survive, and that is how they were able to continue with the bacterial population. Now, if I talk about the structure of chromosome, you can see here this is a cell. Okay, inside the cell there is a nucleus, and in the nucleus there are chromosomes, right. Can you see this? Now, if you enlarge one chromosome, you will see these are chromatids. Just make it half. Can you see this rectangular box? This consists of chromatid, and these two are sister chromatids. The tip of the chromosome is called as telomere. The center part is known as centromere, right? Now, if you again try to open this telomere or this part of the chromatid, you will see that it is condensed. The DNA and protein, they are condensed to form chromosome. You can see here, this is the histone protein. Can you see here? Again, when you enlarge it, when you zoom it, you will see that this is the double helical structure of DNA, and here these are the base pairs. Can you recollect which are the base pairs? ATGC, right? Adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. These are the base pairs, and they are arranged. So, this is your actual structure of DNA. Okay, if I talk about the variations here, few examples are given. The differences in the characters or traits among the individuals of a species is called variation. We have discussed this. The offspring is never a true copy of the parent, that also you know, because it has many changes in it, it has many traits in it, it has many variations in it, and it is all due to the inaccuracies in DNA copying. There are many kinds of variations in human species, like free and attached earlobe. You can check your earlobe, okay, you can check your parent's earlobe also. Then we have different complexions, dark, light brown, dusky, whitish, fair, etc. Different eye color, brown, hazel, blue, green, grey, amber, etc. Height, tall or short, chin cleft or pointed, hair color black, brown, blonde, red, golden, etc. Here we are talking about people who are living in other countries also. Hair type is curly, wavy, straight, etc. and nose snub, thin, pointed, etc. You can see the eye color, hazel eye, you can see the blue eye color, brown hair color, blonde hair color, and you can see here easily, which you can check, is attached earlobe and detached earlobe. Now, before entering into the details of the chapter, let us first of all understand the terms which we will be using often. First is chromosome. It is a thread-like structure in the nucleus of a cell formed of DNA which carries the genes, right? If I talk about chromosome in human beings, each cell has 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosome. Now, before the cell is ready to divide, the chromatin material changes to chromosome, which consists of DNA and protein, and on DNA we have genes. What is gene? Gene, it is a unit of DNA on chromosome which governs the synthesis of one protein that controls a specific characteristic of an organism. Genes are actually units of heredity which transfer characteristics from parents to their offsprings during reproduction, right? So, what are these? These are actually units of heredity. And what are they doing? They are transferring characteristics from one parent to another parent. Now, before this, here, what is gene? It is a unit of DNA which is present on the chromosome, and it will decide here which protein will be attached. Okay. Next is dominant gene. The gene which decides the appearance of an organism even in the presence of an alternative contrasting gene is called as a dominant gene. It is represented by a capital letter. This we are going to discuss in monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Recessive gene, the gene which can decide the appearance of an organism only in the presence of another identical gene, is called a recessive gene. It is represented by the corresponding small letter. If I talk about tallness and dwarfness, capital T, will represent the dominant gene. That means the plant will be tall. Whereas small t will represent dwarfness. Let's talk about the next, genotype. It is the description of genes present in an organism. Phenotype, it is the characteristic which is visible, the actual, what are we able to observe, morphology, right? That is a phenotype, how it looks, that's phenotype. First filial generation or F1 generation, when two parents cross to produce offsprings, their offspring is called first filial generation or F1 generation. Second filial generation or F2 generation, when the first generation offsprings cross among themselves to produce second generation offsprings, then this offspring is called second filial generation or F2 generation. I hope you have understood, children. If at all you have doubt, please ask me. Okay, if I talk about Mendel's experiment, Gregor John Mendel was the first scientist to make a systematic study of patterns of inheritance, which involved the transfer of characteristics from parents to progeny. Mendel chose pea plant for studying inheritance because pea plants had a number of clear cut differences which were easy to tell apart. For example, tall and dwarf pea plants. Some pea plants produced round yellow seeds while others produced wrinkled green seeds. Another reason for choosing pea plants was that they were self-pollinating too. Also, Mendel chose pea plant because many generations of pea plants can be produced in a comparatively short time span, and their study is much simpler than that of animals. And this is the reason, it is asked many times in the exam that why Gregor John Mendel chose pea plant. So, you are supposed to copy down these reasons and the next reasons which I will be explaining in the next slide. So, please children concentrate here. Rules for inheritance of characters or traits. Characters are transferred through genes present in the DNA molecules in the chromosome, present in the nucleus of the cell. The inheritance of character is due to the fact that both the mother and father contributes equal amount of genetic material to the child. So, for each trait there are two factors, one from the father and one from the mother. Gregor John Mendel conducted experiments with garden pea plant and determined the rules for the inheritance of the traits. Now, we are going to discuss the various rules. Now, if I talk about the contribution, you can read here from the textbook also that one trait is going to come, one copy will be coming from the paternal side, one from the maternal side. If I talk about height of the child, now there are two genes which will be influencing the height of the child. One will be from the maternal side, other will be from the paternal side. Now, whichever is the dominant gene, that will be exhibited in the child. If I talk about the eye color, if I talk about the hair color, we have two copies for the same because chromosomes exist in pairs. Okay, if I talk about human beings, each human cell has 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes. They are existing in pairs. If I talk about first pair, second pair, third pair, fourth pair, this way they are till 22nd pair autosomes, and 23rd pair is the sex chromosome. So, this here, if I talk about the first pair, one chromosome has come from the mother side and other chromosome has come from the paternal side, and they are homologous chromosomes. That means they are having traits, right? They are having genes which are responsible for the same trait. Now, which will be exhibited, that depends on the dominancy, law of dominance, that was given by Gregor John Mendel, right? And why did he take pea plant? Can someone tell me why did he choose pea plant only? Because if I talk about pea plant, there are few characteristics which because of that he has chosen, he had chosen this pea plant because it multiplies quickly. Then the difference, it is having different colors, violet color flower, white color flower. So, by that you can actually see which all changes it has gone through if you crossbreed this, if you multiply this. So, the changes are very easily seen. Okay, the lifespan is quite less, and here it is easily available, right. So, these were few reasons because of that Gregor John Mendel selected the pea plant. So, children, what did we study today? We discussed about the definition of heredity, then we discussed about the accumulation of variations during reproduction, what are the advantages of it. Then we started with the Mendel's experiments, and in that we have studied about Gregor John Mendel's experiment, that why did he choose pea plant, right. Then we discussed about rules for the inheritance of traits, fine. And in the next class here we will be talking about monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, and along with that we are going to study the Mendel's law of inheritance, and why Mendel is known for father of genetics, why he is called so. Then we are going to discuss how do these traits get expressed, that also we will discuss in the next class. Okay, if you have any doubt please ask me. Okay, children.